My brother was willing to destroy everything to one-up me, even himself. Ever since I was little, all I wanted was to be best friends with my big brother Augustine. I copied everything he did, from the sports he played to the video games he liked. I even started dressing just like him, begging my mom for the same brand of sneakers and hoodies. But instead of wanting to hang out, Augustine started treating me like his biggest enemy. Every time he came home with a trophy from basketball or skateboarding, or whatever new thing I just started doing too, he would hunt me down. "Bet you'll never be this good, loser," he'd yell, shoving the trophy right in my face. But I never got mad or jealous. I'd just give him a big hug and tell him how proud I was. This only made him angrier, and he'd push me away so hard I'd stumble back, sometimes falling right on the floor. I didn't give up trying to be his friend until my 13th birthday, because that's when everything changed. My parents got me a custom skateboard with a sick dragon graphic, the exact one Augustine had been wanting all year. The second I unwrapped it, I ran to his room and banged on the door. When I showed him, I asked if he wanted to be the first one to ride it. "Yeah, sure," he said with a weird smirk on his face. He said he wanted to test it on the street out front. Since he was 17, I figured he knew what he was doing. But instead of getting on it, he locked eyes with me, then threw it into the road just as a delivery truck sped by, crushing it into 100 pieces. My heart shattered. In that moment, I felt like I stopped being a kid. I promised myself I would never tell him about anything good in my life ever again. 2 years later, when I was 15, I won the state science fair with a robot I built. Augustine hadn't left for college yet, so he heard our parents talking about it at dinner. I was shocked when, instead of getting angry, he asked if he could come to the awards ceremony. I said yes right away, thinking maybe, just maybe, he wanted to fix things between us. On the day of the event, the principal was on stage calling out the winners. He went from third place to first, but he never got to my name. Right before he could say it, Augustine all at once collapsed, grabbing his chest and gasping for air. Everyone turned to look at our family, asking if he was okay. He stayed on the floor until we could hear ambulance sirens getting closer. Then he jumped up like nothing happened. "Oh man, I'm fine everyone," he shouted. "I just forgot to eat breakfast." Everyone was so glad he was okay, but I just shook my head, knowing exactly what he'd done. After that, I kept everything secret, not just from Augustine, but from my parents and all my relatives too. Life got really lonely. It was so hard not to run and tell my parents when something good happened, but I knew I couldn't trust them to keep it from him. When I turned 18, I got into MIT for engineering. My parents found the acceptance letter in the mail before I got home. When I walked in the door, my mom screamed, "Sweetie, we are so happy for you." They right away started taking pictures of me holding the letter to post all over their social media. For the first time in years, I let them be happy for me. I figured Augustine was away at his own college, so there was nothing he could do to ruin this. I was wrong, again. The next morning, my parents barged into my room and started throwing my stuff into garbage bags. "Your brother just found out he has brain cancer," my mom said, her voice shaking. "He needs one room for all the medical tools and one to rest in." My dad was standing behind her, openly crying. I knew right away he was lying, but I needed proof. Augustine came home that afternoon with a big grin on his face. His head was fully shaved. That was weird because I'd seen a video of him playing basketball with his friends just last week, and he had a full head of hair. But he just went to his new room and laid down, saying the cancer made him tired. That night, I made his favorite pasta, trying to make him feel secure and like I believed his story. After 2 weeks of me sleeping on the living room couch, Augustine decided to throw a party to celebrate his bravery. He invited everyone we knew, including a bunch of kids from my high school class. It was perfect. Halfway through the party, I tapped my soda can with a spoon to get everyone's attention. "Augustine should give a speech," I announced. "We're all so proud of you." He right away launched into the speech I'd heard him practicing in the bathroom mirror at least 10 times. He was in the middle of his fake crying when I walked up and gave him a tight hug. Just as I pulled away, I grabbed the edge of the bald cap and ripped it off his head. His brown hair tumbled down past his ears. Augustine screamed. My mom made a gasping sound, like all the air had been sucked out of her lungs. While everyone stood there in shock, I turned on the big TV and cranked the volume. I played a video I'd secretly recorded of Augustine practicing his cancer speech in the mirror when he thought nobody was home. Instead of finally admitting what he did, he just stormed out of the house and drove off. I went up to my room and let my parents deal with telling all the guests to leave. The next morning, I woke up to my mom slapping me hard across the face. "How could you embarrass your brother like that while he's fighting cancer?" she screamed. I just stared at her, fully numb. "He told us that was a hairpiece, you moron." Full story on channel linked below.